Hey everyone. Um, this is a math lesson for Thursday, and on it there is a paper scale that you're supposed to be making. So I'm going to show you some different things that you can do if you have a printer and you are able to print it, or if you don't, and then also a way to extend it if you wanted to make it a little bit harder. So on the menu it talks about making sure that you know when something is heavier and when something is lighter. In just a second, I'm going to show you some vocabulary words too that you can make sure that you're using when you're doing this lesson with your kiddo, okay? Or as a student, you can also use these words too. So this is the paper scale, and so for the lesson, you're supposed to find or draw a picture of something that is heavier than you and then lighter than you. So this type of scale is called a balance scale. And so it's important for them to know that the heavier thing goes down and the lighter thing is up, kind of like a seesaw. The heavier object goes down and the lighter is above, okay? A way that you could do it, you could either have them draw a picture, they could find a picture in a magazine. We do that a lot in class. They can cut out a picture, like they could put an elephant in something heavy and a mouse is something light, or a tree and a flower, okay? And then when they're doing it, make sure you ask them, which is heavier, which is lighter, and have them answer you in a complete sentence. Don't just say, which is heavier, and they say, an elephant. No, they should say, a elephant is heavier than a mouse, or whatever it may be, okay? If you don't have a printer, okay, you can just make your own on a piece of paper, okay? Same thing with the balance. A blank is heavier than me, a blank is heavier than whatever, okay? I think this one says heavier than me, okay? So if they wanted to draw themselves or have a picture of themselves, or if they wanted to compare two objects, they could do that too, okay? Same thing here. If you wanted to do lighter, they could do that too. If you wanted to change the word from heavier to lighter, you could do that too, okay? Some important vocabulary words to talk about and make sure you're using when you're teaching. Weight is obviously weight, okay? Weight is the measurement of how heavy something is, okay? Also estimate. So you could say, I want to estimate which one we make a prediction. Which one do we think is heavier? Which one is lighter? Or if you're using a real scale, you could say, let's estimate about how many pounds do you think this is, okay? Talk to them, say this is a balance scale, okay? That's the name of this, okay? Lighter than, make sure they're saying this is lighter than this when they're comparing. Same thing, heavier than. This object is heavier than this object. Make sure they're answering you in a complete sentence. And same thing, equal to, okay? Now, let me show you an extension if you feel like this is too easy, or if you want it, or even if you do it and you just want something a little bit extra to do, I'm going to show you this. You are going to need a real scale, so if you don't have a real scale, that's okay, but you are going to need a real scale for this. So take two different objects. I chose two of the same object, okay? I just found two books, okay? The reason I did this is because sometimes kids think because it's the same thing that they weigh the same, or they're equal to one another, and that's not always true, okay? I may be as tall as someone, I may be as tall as my husband, but he is heavier than me, okay? Sometimes kids think also, well, they're 5 years old and I'm 5 years old, so they think they're the same weight or they're the same height. So that's a good conversation to have too. But I have two objects and then I have my real scale. Okay, this would be a good way to estimate. Say, okay, or make a prediction. Which one do we think is heavier? Which one do we think is lighter, and why? Okay, so I think this one is going to be heavier. It has more pages. It's hardback. This one is paper. Okay, and then you can actually put the object on there, and you can talk about, okay, this book is 1.6 pounds. It's about 2 pounds, okay? And then the paper book is less. It's not quite a pound yet. My two books, one was about 1 pound and one was about 2 pounds, okay? So another conversation you could have is, what's the difference? The first one was 2 pounds. The second one was 1 pound. What's the difference? So the difference would be 1 pound, okay? You might want to do something that has a bigger difference, like maybe a pot and a plastic plate, okay, then there would probably be a major difference, like maybe 5 pounds and 1 pound, okay, and then you could say, okay, let's subtract, let's find the difference of the weight, okay. That might be an extension of something that you might want to do. So I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you on Zoom.